While the world is preoccupied with the Western-induced hysteria about Iran's nuclear program, the real threat in the region was ignored: Israel's threatening and enigmatic nuclear stockpile. A threat that has been long overlooked by Western media, a threat that is real and present. The uncertainty surrounding Israel's nuclear supply makes us question the Western allegiance and complicity, as well as Israel's concealed nuclear infractions. It has a long-standing policy of refusing to comment on its nuclear weapons program, a policy it describes as nuclear ambiguity. As a result of this nuclear ambiguity, the number of nukes Israel possesses remains undisclosed. Now, during the recent Jeddah Security and Development Summit, which included leaders of GCC countries, Biden, Al-Sisi, King Abdullah II, and Al-Kadhimi, a joint statement was released.
من خلال الالتزام بالمبادئ الشرعية الدولية وعدم التدخل في الشؤون الداخلية للدول الأخرى والتعاون مع الوكالة الدولية للطاقة الذرية والوفاء بالتزاماتها في هذا الشأن.
The statement included a call for Tehran to keep the Arab Gulf region free of weapons of mass destruction and to maintain regional and international security and stability. The question here is, why not the entire MENA region? Such statements act as solid evidence of the international community's double standards when it comes to nuclear power. Now, let's take a few steps back. An agreement was signed in October 1957 between France and Israel regarding the construction of the Dimona nuclear reactor in Israel. In 1958, the BBC revealed evidence that Britain sold Israel 20 tons of heavy water, which allowed the occupation government to start its nuclear production plant at Dimona. 2 years later, the then Israeli Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion chose the path of ambiguity by declaring that Dimona was purely a civilian scientific project for training in the use of nuclear power for economic development. This was the first time an Israeli official discloses any information about Israel's possession of nuclear supply. In 1968, Belgium announced the sale of 200 metric tons of uranium to Israel. Mordechai Vanunu, a dissident Israeli scientist and specialist on the Dimona nuclear complex, provided the Sunday Times in 1986 with extensive information regarding the facility supported by detailed images. He told the newspaper that Israel probably had a stockpile of 100 to 200 nuclear weapons, was able to make thermonuclear devices more powerful than atomic bombs, and had collaborated with South Africa on nuclear matters. Vanunu's disclosure of state secrets landed him 18 years in jail, 11 of which were in solitary confinement. Israel currently possesses nuclear submarines, which are referred to as a weapon of last resort. Although the submarine's characteristics are veiled with secrecy, sources suggest that it can carry a 200-kiloton nuclear warhead. So why aren't Western governments concerned about Israel's possession of nuclear supply, like they are with Iran? Israel was never questioned for refusing to disclose the details of its nuclear program, granting access to its nuclear installations to the IAEA, and refusing to join the treaty on the NPT. It also did not ratify the new protocols governing the ban on the development, manufacturing, storage, and use of biological weapons that were reached between nations and the IAEA and approved by the Board of Governors in 1972. Additionally, it did not ratify the Convention on the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, which was signed in 2002, nor did it sign the International Pact Against the Proliferation of Ballistic Missiles and other weapons of mass destruction. With the West focusing on Iran, it is imperative to point out that Israel has committed numerous crimes and massacres against the Palestinians. Research in the Palestinian region of Al-Khalil has revealed that its residents are suffering from radioactive radiation pollution, and that this radiation comes from Israeli nuclear facilities and the storage of nuclear waste in the area. It may also be a result of weapons containing depleted uranium having been formerly used against the Palestinians. When it comes to halting the proliferation of nuclear weapons, Israel is exempted from accountability. The policy of double standards permits the disregard of concrete threats highlighted by international organizations and based on solid evidence and witnesses. Israel, the real threat in the Middle East, possesses nuclear rockets, bombs, and submarines. Yet, the West is deliberately choosing to turn a blind eye.